got my insurance policy, you know. I'm paid every day. I pay 16 rounds into my insurance policy. I'm good. Yeah. The problem is you're paying your insurance agency with counterfeit money. And he's like, you know, and you go to cash in your insurance policy, and he said, you've been paying me with counterfeit money. You have no policy. Now you tell me at the end of my life, you know. So most of you are kind of young, so it's good you know now, right? That you can't, you know, have an insurance policy with counterfeit money. Have you ever heard this concept of the shadow of a name? It's not the real name, it's a shadow. You know, I mean, that's what boss means. But nama boss, it doesn't mean a shadow in the sense that there's no potency. It means there is something there. It's not a complete shadow. It's just not the full. It's not the full light. It's a partial. That's what it means. Not a shadow, but there's the concept of a shadow. Right? So, if you're trying to lose weight, I have a plan for you. You can eat anything you want. This is a great plan. You're like, wow, really? You can eat anything? Yeah, you can eat anything you want. This is how you do it. You get a light above your dining table, and then you get some wires to hold your plate and hang your plate, and you shine a light, and the shadow goes on the table, and you just eat the shadow. And you'll lose a lot of weight, and you get to eat anything you want. What do you think? Good idea? How does the shadow taste? Okay, I have another question for you. Does your holy name ever taste like a shadow? Like, did you ever have this experience that, like, Krishna's in his holy name? I've read that, I've heard that, but I'm chanting now and I have like zero realization. You ever had that experience? Prabhu, I had a big realization today in my japa. What was it? That I have no realization. That was my big realization today. I have no realization that Krishna is in his name. Have you ever had that realization? Oh yeah, Prabhu, I have it all the time, very intensely. It's a very intense realization for me during japa. So there's this concept of a shadow name, right? And so if you eat, if you follow my diet, after 3 or 4 days, you're going to be like really weak and tired, right? Because you're only eating a shadow of your food. Have you ever felt like spiritually weak? That ever happened to anybody here? Just like, you know that kind of day when you're just like, Maya's really strong. You know that, you know that day? Like, you just feel it, like, deep inside, wow, Maya's really heavy. You know what that means, my dear devotees? That means you have just eaten for breakfast 16 shadow rounds of japa. Because if you actually chant 16 proper rounds, you will never say, Maya is strong. You will say, I don't know where Maya's gone. I haven't seen her for weeks. That's what you'll say. Every day you'll chant a good round. Maya's like, she's like, this guy's useless. I can't do anything for him. I'll go to the devotee in the next room, right? He's chanting Namaparada. We can deal with him. We can work with him. This devotee I can't work with because he's like, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Like, how do I get into that devotee? He's sitting with Krishna. Like, there's no room for me. So every time you have this realization that Maya is strong, it probably means you were chanting shadow japa. Right? Should we make a t-shirt? Down with shadow japa. No more shadow japa. Yeah. Because if we actually chant the holy name properly, we are going to, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. It's like you read Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan and you don't feel like Param Vijayate. You feel like the opposite. What would the opposite be in Sanskrit? Ajayate? No jayate. Ajayate. Sri Krishna said, I feel like Maya jayate. Param vijayate Maya Devi. Sankirtan on me. Yeah. So you have to judge. You can't pretend I'm chanting and feeling empty, like, hello, if you're chanting, if you're with Krishna and you're feeling empty, maybe, just maybe, it's possible Krishna wasn't there and you just thought he was, right? We had shadow pakoras for breakfast, and I'm still hungry. You know, you might say, where's this shadow japa? It's there in Shastra, but we have all chanted 16 rounds and felt like we didn't eat anything. We all have that experience, right? Like, it's a very discouraging experience to realize that after 16 rounds you weren't actually chanting properly, and you don't feel inspired. You feel like you felt before. You know, you were hungry before, and you're still hungry. That's the proof that there is such a thing as the shadow of the holy name. You want to hear something really interesting? You want to hear something interesting? Do you want to hear something interesting? This is really interesting. In the full workshops, we have more time, so we do more exercises. And so one of the exercises we do is to take out a flip chart and ask devotees, how do you feel when your rounds are poor? You just didn't chant good rounds. How do you feel after that? And then we write down. And so the devotees write down, disappointed, frustrated, I failed my guru, depressed. You know, all negative emotions. And you already know this because you've experienced this when you didn't chant well. Yes? It's not a happy feeling. And so I was trying to point out to devotees that this is not, if you feel this way, it's because of namaparad, or chanting a shadow name. Because how could it be possible that you would feel this way if you were associating with Krishna? Impossible. I just spent 2 hours with Krishna. Oh my God, really? How do you feel? Depressed, frustrated, like a failure, wanting to give up. It's impossible, right? I just had the most amazing rounds of my life today. How did you feel? It's incredible. I just was like feeling so blissful, ecstatic, satisfied. So I was just trying to make the point of what Shastra says, is that there is a shadow of the holy name, a reflection. It's not really the holy name. And sometimes we chant that, and that's why we feel all these ways. There's another interesting point. If we want to effectively share the holy name with people, and specifically if we want to help people learn how to chant well, learn how to chant properly, learn how to taste the nectar of the holy name, how important is it for us to be doing that? It's extremely important. How can you convince somebody of the importance, genuinely convince them of the importance of chanting, if you don't experience that yourself? And so one of the most important things we have to do in this movement is teach people how to chant without offenses. Like what I said this morning, you should just give that to every person when you give them the beads. Say, watch this lecture. That should be the first thing they hear, right? And that should be how we're chanting every day. We have to be acharyas, nam acharyas. That's so important. And if we are not experiencing the nectar of the name, how can you communicate that? Like, did you ever try to tell somebody something is really good, but you don't believe it, or you don't experience it? It's a very weird thing. It's just, there's nothing in your physiology or your face that shows that you like what you're saying you like. Chant Hare Krishna and make you happy, and you're chanting Hare Krishna and you're bored. and you're trying to tell people chant, it's not going to communicate. It's impossible to communicate unless you're a good actor. You'll have to act it out. So these two things are extremely important. Our chanting must be pure, and we must train new people to learn what is real chanting right from the beginning, and they will develop the habit, and they will be easier for them because they learned the right way in the beginning. You can't teach anything you don't live. You can try, but it's not effective in the long run. Hare Krishna. So,